Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.
Man, I forgot how to make the screen bigger. Oh, now I see it. It's too late now. Y'all had to see a small screen. No, that human resource development degree was very, very powerful. Very powerful. Human resource development with a concentration in instructional design. That landed me corporate positions in the training departments. So I've always been when I had a job using my degree from NEIU here in Chicago, Northeastern Illinois University, I landed corporate positions as a corporate trainer. I trained higher level. I trained supervisors, managers, directors, and above, including the CEO of companies. That was my role from HRD, okay, with ID. So everything I've done, everything has brought me to this point. And I was just downstairs thinking about this. I'm like, I just had to laugh about it. As a realtor, I'm a realtor, guys. I've been licensed since 1996, January 1996. I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't even know real estate was okay. I didn't know, Ray, hold on. I didn't know real estate was a thing because I grew up in public housing. And no realtors ever came to CHA, that's public housing, the projects. I was there for 24 years until my daddy died and my mama moved and I had to go. And anyway, that's another long story. So when I got out on my own and a real estate investor who owned the building where I actually lived in the studio apartment right out of homelessness, and I told him that story, he said, Yvette, I would never have imagined you having gone through all of those trials and tribulations, from everything I went through in the military, and then to come home and get married to a batterer and all those years. I mean, it was just horrific. And we sat and talked, and he was an educated man. He owned the building where I lived. He owned several other properties in Chicago. And these were big buildings, big residential commercial buildings. Laundromat on the first floor. I love that apartment too, by the way, with the laundromat on the first floor, and other stores. And then maybe 3 years later, I opened a store in that building. I started doing estate sales in the community. And he said, yeah, rent the store. So I learned a lot from him. And one day I was at his house, and he told me that he said, you would be good as a realtor. And I'm being straight up. I'm like, what's that? What's a realtor? Because I didn't rent the apartment where I live now that you own with the realtor. I never had to deal with the realtor before. So when I left to go to the military, I'm 18. When I got back, I was 19. And then I moved in with the back with my parents, and then with the batterer. So I never knew anything about a realtor. I grew up in the ghetto, and I never knew how people bought houses. My parents never bought a house, and my brothers and sisters, they bought houses, but they didn't tell my mom and daddy how. And my daddy worked for Greyhound for 42 years. He could have bought a house. So anyway, so I'm like, where do I go get that? And he told me Chicago Association of Realtors. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me look that up in the yellow pages. Found them out, and I went there and took the class, I think 3 or 4 times. I didn't care. I had nothing else to do. I failed the state exam. I took the class again. That class was like 6 months long. I'm like, okay, and I don't have nothing else to do. I was working for the city of Chicago Department of Revenue in the Department of Revenue. And right after work, I would go walk to school, go home, study the next day, go back to work, go back to school. Did that 2 or 3 days a week for almost a year and a half. It's not that I'm a slow learner. It's just that was new information overall. Every single chapter was new to me. I didn't know anything about that profession, real estate, nothing. So I've had my license since 1996, and I just fell in love with it. I was fortunate enough to have a job with the city of Chicago in the licensing division, where I was the task force leader over SRO licenses. SRO licenses, that acronym stands for single room occupancy. So I got to see real estate. I got to see big, massive real estate with marble and steel and elevators and some short walk-ups. And I mean, I got to see over 200 of them, and I was just fascinated. And another fascinating about that was that lived poor. It was an SRO. SROs are for low income. And I'm like, well, damn, I could have paid $350 to $500, maybe not to $500, but I could have paid $350 for one of these and not have to be in an abusive marriage. I would have worked 2 jobs while I was in school too, which I did, but I didn't know about the SROs. So I'm also a real estate instructor. I became a real estate instructor because I'm like, look, y'all need to learn something today. Y'all don't know enough as realtors. There's so many places you can go with real estate. And that's what I've done with my company, VetMentors. I've taken my company from just being held hostage here in Chicago to touching the lives of people in 30 other states. What? Homeless veterans and those who want to service them as a business and get paid government funding. That's what I do. That's how I've been a realtor all of these years. I didn't have to go and find my clients. I didn't have to think about who my clients were. They were all at the VA. They were all at the vet centers. They were all at city colleges. They were all in municipal, the suburbs where I would do workshops. They were all in colleges. I mean, they're everywhere, just everywhere. And I made sure And we made sure as a community that they had resources or had access to getting resources, because I told them, you're coming to my workshop so you can learn how to go out there and use your resources that you get, use your benefits that you get through the VA, through the federal government, through the state. I mean, I got a lot of all these resources all around here. Through the state, these are resources. You saw the federal book, resources if you want to be a business owner and you are a veteran. We've got resources for that, and not just any business owner. A business owner, I'm going to read it to you. Entrepreneurship programs and procurement. You all always hear me talk about programs. You can't do veterans housing effectively if you don't know what the programs are, if you don't know where the funding is, if you don't know what organizations are holding the bag for you to go get so you can continue your business. That's how I operated my business all these years, tapping into all of this money that I talk about every day. We have in 6 months, $1.8 billion, just like manna, came down into our homeless veterans community. Before that, for the fiscal year 2026 is 3.8 billion or 4.8 billion. I get them mixed up because last year was either 3.8 billion or 4.8 billion. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because this money is in our homeless veterans community right now. It's in our community right now. But if you don't know how to get the money, then you can't get the money. And that's what I teach you. I have a master class that will be held tomorrow on live. I go through one program. Y'all just heard me right. If you want to be an entrepreneur, Illinois Veteran Entrepreneurships Program, that's everything within the VA runs off of programs and funding. They, or you've got contractors have to do everything. And that's a whole nother topic in itself. How do you get that money to do and to run your business? I teach housing, and I teach you how to get the money so you can run your housing. As a realtor, I went to where the money was so that I could house the veterans. So if you say you want to house veterans, that's good and wonderful. You have a passion, you have the desire, you have the love for your veterans. That's beautiful. That should keep you there as long as you have the funding. I was a homeless, y'all listen to me real good. I'm going to get some money so I can show y'all. I am a homeless veterans realtor. From homeless through their transition, where I teach you through education in my publication how to set up your veterans shared living models. And these are for the most part, they're all transitional, because our veterans next, using their federal benefits, can then rent an apartment under another program, provided they get approved for that program, and provided there's somebody in the community who can help them find an apartment, condo, or house using that next program, which is 𝐒𝐈𝐍. So the first program I talked about, I'm going to show y'all 3 sets of money. Thank you for the hearts. Not by housing the veterans, but just work. I would just like to know how to get employed. I don't know. I'm not talking about that. You hear what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about working in the veterans homeless housing community and getting paid as a provider, a business owner. That's what I'm talking about right now. So I don't know how to help you get a job. So in August 27, 2025, Washington, the Department of Veteran Affairs announced more than $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. That's this money right here. 235 organizations received over $818 million in grants for veterans in the community who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. That's what this money is for. No sooner than September 23rd, less than a month later, the VA said, oh my goodness, oh, we made a mistake. We have to put more money in the community because that's not enough. That's not enough. We have more homeless veterans than they could handle. So now we're gonna do, the Department of Veterans Affairs announced Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, it will distribute $84 million in grants to 176 organizations tackling veterans homelessness across the United States. So what is that telling you? There's veterans who go get my book. Go get my book. There's veterans in our community who need our services. So if you somebody who say, I want to, this is for you too. You're somebody who says, I want to house homeless veterans, and I've got a 4-bedroom. What do you say? I got a 4-bedroom house, can rent to veterans. Good. Then go and send me your email, and I'll send you a link to my master class tomorrow. You came right on time. So tomorrow at 6, from 6 to 8, I host a master class on one of these programs. So then another announcement came out this year. It's called a NOFO, Notice of Funding Opportunity. Notice of Funding Opportunity, a NOFO. And this came from the Department of Veteran Affairs for the funding opportunity for supportive services for veteran families. This is and SSVF expects to award approximately $855 million. That's in addition to the 1.8, hold on, let me look at it. 84 million. Okay. 84 million and 818 million. That's almost 900 million. And then with this additional 855 million, that's 1.8 billion. So if you don't know where this money is, then you're going to be sticking around talking about, I'm housing homeless veterans, sticking them in a room, sticking them in a house, and they're paying me every month. When I just showed y'all how much money we have in our community, but you don't want to learn. Go to my library and get some books and read. Didn't y'all go to school? Get some books and read. I have a private group. Everybody doesn't get invited to my private group. I don't talk to everybody. When I tried to talk to people, I wrote a class back in 2014 and taught 2015, 16, and part of 17. I'm like, forget it. I give up. I give up on you realtors. I give up. So I wrote a book to teach, and I also have a master class for this one too that I am redeveloping. And people laughed at me. You house homeless veterans? How do you get paid? I'm like, oh, do you really want to know? Or you're just asking me that question? Are you ready to put in the work? Or are you just blowing smoke? Because if you're not ready to put in the work, I'm talking, this is government. This is government money. I'm not talking about the money from the veterans Social Security check or his or her VA disability check. If you're running that type of house, make your money. But if you're running that type of house and these veterans are not service connected to their compensation and their disabilities, then you're not doing them much good except for giving them a roof over their heads and a bed. We get everything. How do I know? Because I was that homeless veteran who went through the whole gamut. Let me show y'all. Right here, from homeless, I was at risk of being homeless because I was in a battered and abusive marriage. So I went and stayed in transitional housing. And then I rented my first apartment. And then I bought my first home. And then I became an investor and a business owner. So when I got to the veterans homeless community, I'm like, I'll be a monkey's auntie. I know exactly what y'all need, and gave it to them every single year. Housed over 5,000 homeless veterans and got awards out the wazoo. So I made a mistake. I keep saying I got 2 proclamations. I keep saying that. I said I got a proclamation from the senator and I got a proclamation from the state rep. No, I didn't. I got a proclamation from the senator and I have a resolution from the Illinois House of Representatives. So this was awarded to me as well. Let me see, what year was this? This one was, the proclamation was 2022 by Senator Michael Hastings. This was in 2022 as well. Oh, I don't know, it's 2 pages, so it's kind of different. Maybe I could put it like in a frame like this, 2 on the page. Like that's the whole. I think I might do something like that. So I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 plus years, and I've made. My coach told me, because this is the first time I'm coming out talking to people in public. Good evening. Hey, Joelle Wallace. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for your service. Just found on YouTube. Thanks for sharing. Oh, it's my pleasure. Hope you stick around. Joelle, I am doing the intensive this Saturday. So, and then since my coach is guiding me, there are some things I have to do tonight to send over the email and send you the link. So this is the easy part for me. This is the easy part, coming on and talking and training. But to get set up, to put my information now in a system that can be shared, that's what I'm doing. Because in my group now, they say, you don't gatekeep. No, not with you all. I don't. No, you're here committed. So that's why I'm still here committed. But over all the years that I've been housing homeless veterans, and realtors were like, how you get paid? I said, I get a commission. What are you talking about? How do I get paid? Well, they're homeless. They don't have any money. I'm like, and what you think? They always need some money or good credit or 0 evictions, or, I mean, what? You just don't know. That's all it is. And you don't know what questions to ask me to engage in that conversation, because I don't engage in that conversation with everybody. I've seen realtors come and go. When I started the workshops at the Jesse Brown VA, and then resumed those workshops for 13 years at the Forest Park Vet Center, I saw, well, the realtors couldn't come with me to the Forest Park Vet Center. I had the contract, the MOU, to conduct those workshops at the vet center, and then the next vet center and the next vet center. I was at Forest Park Vet Center, Chicago Vet Center, Chicago Heights Vet Center, And I did once at Evanston Vet Center. I said, I'm not coming back here. You're too far. Y'all good. They can come to where I am. At city colleges of Chicago, Metropolitan Federal Bureau of Prisons, because we have veterans who are incarcerated who need to come home. And what do they come home to? If they don't have a family, they have to come home to a program. And that's what this book teaches you. You need a program to catch some of this 1.8 billion and some of that 3.8 or 4.8 billion. That's what this book teaches you. Not how to be a money grab. That's what my partner and some other veteran professionals in the GovCon space say. Money grab. Money grab. Because we have too many. I'm not going to say too many. But we have a ton of benefits. Federal, state, you want to be an entrepreneur, and this is more state benefits. This is from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. If you're in Atlanta, Georgia Department of Veteran Affairs, or Las Vegas, Nevada Department of Veteran Affairs, y'all get me. And then you've got, oh man, I got to start snatching these books out. Where's my Cook County? Here it is. These are benefits from the Veterans Assistance Commission, Cook County of Illinois. Now, why am I showing all of y'all these different benefits? Because these are different departments and different programs are under all of these different departments. Truly appreciate the consistency of this show, man. I'm stick and stay. I've been housing homeless veterans for over 22 years proudly. So you can't get me to leave and I've been with my same realtor since 2011. I don't like to bounce around. But thank you for that compliment. Yes, thank you for that compliment. And so once you know about your program, you're going to know about the money. You have to know about the money in order for your program to be effective. Oh, I got some good news for y'all. I got some real good news. Where's my notebook? Dang, here it is. So I am part for the Veterans Business Administration, and we have been charged with a question. And oh my God, I'm like, y'all just don't know. So I had to tell them. This was the question. How can VBA, that's the Veterans Benefits Administration, and if you don't know what the Veterans Benefits Administration does, I need you to go Google that. You've got the VBA, that's the Veterans Benefits Administration. You have the VHA, that's the Veterans Health Administration. Then you have all the other ones. So go look all that up. So we're talking about the VBA. So I'm at a roundtable discussion. There's 14 of us in a cohort, and we have to discuss this one question. And I'm like, okay, here's the question. Because y'all just heard me right. I've been conducting veterans workshops at all of these places. I just listen to the question. I'm not going to tell y'all what the answer is yet. What the solution that I will be presenting. And then she said something else. I'm like, oh. And then there was somebody on the phone on the call. I said, Doctor, me, what? I told her who my daughter was. She like, she's my daughter's the director where my daughter is working at the university, and we're on the same cohort. We're sitting this is where God has taken me after being faithful all of these years in this homeless veterans community. I'm sitting at the table, not just with PhDs and owners of government contracting firms who are doing 250 million, 500 million, 750 million a year in contracts. I'm at the same table. I'm an executive board member of the elite SDVOB here in Illinois. Here, let me show y'all. I had to get it. It's on the board right now. So the next interview that will be to showcase our comeback. I'm on the board now, so I can say our. This to showcase our comeback is I will be interviewed by the president of the Illinois Elite SDVOB on my channel. So you all need to be over on. Well, y'all can still be here. I can still stream from everywhere. But let me tell y'all the question. Thanks for going live and sharing this. So consistent. Yes, very consistent. Oh my God. So this is the question. How can VBA, that's the Veterans Benefits Administration, and when I tell y'all, because I don't know if you're going to have time to look it up while I'm on here talking, but I'll go in the book. I'll go in the book and see if it's here. I'm sure it is. So the veterans, how can the VBA collaborate better with various service groups to increase the number of veterans receiving VA benefits in Illinois? I just could have dropped the phone. Well, the phone was sitting on the thing right here, but I'm like, y'all, I just could have dropped the phone. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. Being boots on the ground, and that's why I call my show Boots on the Ground, because for all of these years, I've gone to where the veterans are, where they can get the information. Because otherwise, veterans aren't going to know. If they knew, they would already have the benefits. Or they would be working on getting those benefits. But when they come to my workshops, they're like, Yvette, I didn't know nothing about this. Yvette, I got my 100%. I've literally taken veterans from homelessness through their transition to rentals, to home ownership, becoming an investor because they'll buy 2, 3, or 4 units, and it's not all for family. They get rents for those additional units. That is an investor. Landlord, you got to pay taxes on that money that you're getting from who? The government. Because I show my veterans here, which I'm sharing it with you all, come to my master class, y'all can learn something. How to use your VA loan so you can be an investor. And then you're a business owner. You were Yvette. I'm ready for my next one. This ain't no joke. So you come to me and say that I want to do veterans housing. Oh, it's a process. And you will have a lot of functions to carry out in order to get to where you want to be. Because it's not, and you're working with government. I did an intensive class, and I'll be doing an intensive class every Saturday. So make sure you buy a book. Please don't come unknowledged. I don't even know a word to use, but come with some knowledge. So go buy my books and read something so you'll know. Just get the foundation book. This is your foundation book right here. A Guide to Veterans Shared Living Models. This is your foundation book, because this will tell you what type of housing you want to do as an entrepreneur. Right here. You wanted what type of veteran shared model or what type of rental model. You'll learn that in this book. And then you'll be more prepared when you engage in my master classes. Because this master class, and I'm so glad we took it this way, because in this book, this is transitional housing. You don't want to hold our veterans hostage just because you want to come and pick up some money every month. No, you want this green file money. You want what's in this green file in my money folder. This is billions of dollars. And these are programs that I teach you how to set up so you can get that money. So when you say, even I'm going to do veterans housing, okay, you follow the system and you can do veterans housing the proper way. Otherwise, I can't help you. I can't help you. I don't do one and done. I work with serious minded people. I love having fun. Don't get me wrong. That's how you stay young and healthy. I'm 60. But, this is not something that you're going to stick your toe in to see how the water feels. And we're not talking about how's to pay for the bedroom. If I'm telling you, you'll be working on getting millions, how's to pay for the bedroom? That's in your program that you write. It's a whole program. I've taken a lot of those master classes. The reason why you're asking that question, thank you so much for joining my fan club. I've taken those, and that's not this. That's not this. I'm talking about government funding. All of the money that you'll be getting is from this green folder right here. This is over damn near $5 billion. So what you're thinking is in the small league. I'm taking you big league. Shared housing, that's transitional housing, to your next real estate track. You're not going to stick to just veterans transitional housing. Where are they going to go? And that's what I teach my group members. You don't just kick them out. Your time is up. Their time is up when the program says their time is up. And then you have them the next place to go. And I'm talking in vague languages, and y'all in my group already know. I am. And I didn't intend for it to be that way, because I probably could have been further along. No, I couldn't have been, because I was a realtor. VetMentors is my new company that I took. I created the LLC in 2018. And I've been putting this together, but just couldn't really get it. How do I teach these people? So I started doing a couple, like, what were they called? Not workshops. I forgot. It'll come to me probably. It was like a seminar. It's like a seminar. But the concept of trying to change the mindset of a realtor, because I know how a realtor thinks. I am a realtor, and we had to learn that way. Our office does it that way. But working in this population, you can't do it that way. So I had to create processes and procedures in order for me to do it the way I know it can be done and still stay within the parameters of real estate law. Because I don't ever want to get in trouble. I don't ever want to get in trouble. Never. So I created those processes and used those processes to house over 5,000 homeless veterans, from homelessness to through a transition, because some of them had to go somewhere before they got a rental. And then I'm like, look, y'all not going to stay a renter all your lives when you've got all of these benefits that you can qualify for. You got to apply for some stuff. What do you need? Come on, this is where you're going to go. What do you need? Come on, this is where you're going to go. And we'll be back next month at conducting another workshop. And the workshop next month is going to be on this topic. So you make sure you're here. All of y'all make sure you're here. Okay, vet. Okay. Bring in more chairs. We need a bigger facility at the VA, at the vet centers, at city colleges, at municipal suburban areas, in their gymnasiums, at Cook County Jail, at the halfway house. I went to the prison, y'all. I went to a prison, to the Metropolitan Federal Bureau of Prisons. Thank you so much for those numbers, 11. To the prisons, to talk to these young men about when they are released. How do you find housing? And now you have a whole prison record. And you're a veteran too. They already think you cuckoo because you're a veteran with that PTSD stuff. And now you got some jail time under your belt too. Man, what you gonna do? Where you gonna live? I got veterans who got VA loans with backgrounds. I mean, you can buy a house with a background, but it's not that easy to rent anything with the background. But I rent it to them too. These are processes that I teach in my courses. It's not something I talk about just freely, and it's not a conversation to be had lightly, because you are somebody is in your care. So how are you going to care for that person? I know. I got people saying stuff. Hold on. Let me go up here and see what people are saying. Amen. Not by housing the veterans, but just working out a 4-bedroom. Go get my book, Tony. The VA will pay for veteran family members as a caregiver too. Go get the books. Download this book. Go learn what the benefits are. I'm not here to tell y'all what the benefits are. I'm showing you where you can go get them. Go to va.gov/get started and download this book. Go to your state Department of Veteran Affairs and download this book. Go to your state, Illinois. I think this is this is Department of Veteran Affairs. Get all the information. Go learn all your benefits. I'm not here to talk to you about your benefits. I'm here to tell you guys, if you are serious about working in this veterans community, then you need to learn. And I got a master class coming tomorrow and a private group. These are my books. So I wrote this book right here, A Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. And I'm also a publisher. I write all my books and I publish my books because I can do that. And also the book for realtors. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of these realtors. But it's, so you can, and the finding home. I helped veterans all across the country, Las Vegas, and Las Vegas, not Vegas, Hawaii, get resources to find housing. Because she was homeless in her car. Marine, Las Vegas called me. Well, I don't talk, but Las Vegas. So I'm in Chicagoland area. This is stuff that I teach you to do anywhere in the country, because you say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. The government should be doing something about that, because you don't know what to do and you don't know what to do. You don't know where to get the money from. You don't know what resources there are out there to help this veteran in this situation before they even get in the situation. You get veterans with vouchers, and they go out because the case managers at the local housing authority They're not housing locators. They're responsible for giving you the papers. At the VA, your social worker, I'm sorry, y'all, but a lot of them, they're just useless. They are. I've been up there for years, year after year after year. Oh, they left. Okay, that's fine. Oh, we got new ones. Oh, I never rented an apartment before in my life. I went back home and lived with my mom and daddy after I graduated. Oh, I've been in my house for 30 years. I don't know how to rent. What? But now this is your job. You have to learn. So I would be up there. I got letters in my book thanking me. I could read one to y'all. Hold on. Oh, let me see. Is that plugged up? Yeah. Let me see. Let me grab a letter. Okay, here is, let me get a letter from the VA. Okay, here's some letters in my book right here from social workers at the VA. I'm going to read a short one. This is October 29, 2012. Dear Ms. Jones, I am writing this letter to thank you for the assistance you provided in getting one of my veterans an apartment. I appreciated the fact that you worked closely with him and the landlord to expedite the process to ensure that this veteran was able to make a smooth transition on the date of his move. I also appreciated the intervention you made on this veteran's behalf to help him to relocate, assistance with his security deposit, recognizing that many of our homeless vets do not have money to pay their deposits. Finally, I would like to thank you for your caring spirit. Thank you for the caring spirit you have shown towards our veterans here at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, going out of your way at times to ensure that their housing needs are being met. I would also like to thank you personally for serving our country as a veteran yourself. Sincerely, Diane, 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿. I don't know what those acronyms mean. Oh, yeah, so. All of those from 2009. Let me go back to 2009. Let me just go back to 2009. The VA will pay a veteran family. Okay, good. Go get the I literally just attended a workshop on best transition that then I came across this. Good. I want to make some of that great. Okay, go get the book so you can learn, Tony. So here's the letter from, this is a 2-page off this front and back, but I'm just going to read. To whom is 2009. So y'all stick around for this 2009 letter. This letter is being written on behalf of Miss Yvette Jones of Yvette's Rentals and Consulting. That was my company, my LLC back in 2009, Yvette's Rentals and Consulting. I have known Miss Jones for approximately 1 year, so that's 2008. And in this 1 year, she has proven to be a valuable asset and inspiration to the homeless veterans at the Jesse Brown VA. The 𝐒𝐈𝐍 Section 8 program at the Jesse Brown VA is a fairly new program, and Miss Yvette Jones was kind and gracious enough to assume the responsibility early on in the program of helping veterans in our program. The population of Miss Yvette Jones has shown to help oftentimes have never had an apartment of their own, and are frequently overwhelmed with the many choices, time-sensitive decisions that have to be made in order to be a participant in the 𝐒𝐈𝐍 Section 8 program. Ms. Jones helps relieve their stressors by providing them with individualized care in choosing their dream apartment. Because I didn't work with slumlords. I didn't work with dumps. Ms. Jones can do this because she has a large array of housing inventory all over the Chicagoland area. The apartments that are on her housing inventory are inspected by her and her staff personally. To illustrate Ms. Jones' compassion for the veterans, she does not tell the veterans to meet her at any given site. She picks the veterans up and affords them door-to-door transportation to the potential apartments of their choosing. In closing, Miss Yvette Jones is a valued resource to the Jesse Brown VA and, most importantly, the U.S. homeless veterans. I wish to commend Miss Yvette Jones on her professionalism, her eagerness, and attention to detail. Miss Jones is truly an asset to the Jesse Brown VA housing program. I keep saying program. So if you're telling me, Yvette, I want to house homeless veterans, how much can I get a bed? How much can I charge? It's a program. So once you learn how to write a program and become in an alignment resource for the other programs that you want to service, then you're just housing veterans in a bed. I teach you how to do programs. These were some of my housing fairs that I would conduct at the vet centers after leaving the VA in 2012, because they got jealous. I was told that. These one of the social workers told me. He said, Yvette, do you know what happened? I said, no, I really don't. You know, it bothered me for a little while, but when I got an office at the Forest Park Center, it didn't bother me anymore because all the veterans started coming here. I didn't have to go to Jesse Brown for nothing. And then when they called me back, and I'm like, I'm already at the Forest Park Vet Center. So unless y'all have an event that you want me to come speak at, I'm not coming back to Jesse Brown. I'm not. I'm at the Forest Park. It's a brand new building. I can drive one straight shot. It took an hour to get there. Same for the Jesse Brown VA, but I had one straight shot to go right to the Forest Park Vet Center once a week. And the veterans would show up. They would sign in. They would come in. We would have mini sessions. I would do one-on-ones. Then I started adding on people to do really full-fledged workshops. I'm like, I'm good. I did that for 13 years on contract, what's called an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And then the other vet centers started getting jealous. They're like, Yvette, you don't ever come over here. I'm like, the veterans are coming over here. Why I got to come over there? Well, we have veterans who can't get to you. I'm like, oh. So then I added a Chicago Heights Vet Center, which was like 15 minutes from my house. And then Chicago Vet Center. Yvette, can we put you on the, can we be added to your schedule? So now I got my team and we're going around every single week at a different vet center. The third Thursday every month, except for June and July, because I had to take my summers for myself, and November and December. We didn't conduct workshops because those are the holidays and it's cold. So you want to learn how to house homeless veterans under programs. That's what I do. I'm about to go because my coach is telling me to do something. And I'm still putting the new intensive together. I'm adding so many links to this new intensive as an easy walkthrough. And I'm really feeling good about that. I had to kick in my instructional design skills. What makes sense? What's the strategy behind this, and it's just step by step. How do I do it? How do I do things? And he keeps saying, write it down. Okay, this is writing it down. So I feel real good about this intensive, about this masterclass tomorrow and the intensive on Saturday. I just have to finish some more details. You know, it's always in the details. So everybody who is in my group you have received emails, and I sent a link, the free link to come and take the workshop for free. If you're not in my group, then you don't get that link. You have to earn your way to my group. So anyway, I was saying that I've been a gatekeeper, and it's not like it's a gatekeeper where it's something that I could have easily told you, because it wasn't. I think, I don't know if that's really a good word to use, because y'all didn't want. So it wasn't a gatekeeper. It was just doing my job, knowing my information. Because no, even the board, and I'm really disappointed at the boards. But I don't press the issue. But I am, because the board, I'm not saying I'm not going to press the issue, but I am disappointed in the real estate boards, and I'm also disappointed in the National Association of Realtors, because housing homeless veterans is real estate. Why are you giving me 1 year from all branches of government, from the real estate board, the National Association of Realtors, municipalities, and I got so many doggone awards. I should print it out. I told my assistant to put it in a book so I can print it out and take it with me when I'm going to be seated at the round table. God said He gonna put you at some tables, and He's put me at some tables. I'm like, okay, I see how I see the moves that you did in my life to get me here. Consistency and excellence. Alexa, resume play. Consistency and excellence. You can't tell me. I took a class with the VA Hospital office, and that's the first time I heard. That's the first time I heard you have receipts. I'm like, oh my God, I got a lot of receipts. I got a ton of pictures. I got a ton of letters. I got a ton of awards. I got a ton of people thanking me for housing them. I got receipts. Oh yeah, I wore my shirt today. Let me stand up so y'all can see. Okay, so this right here, 100 Pretty Purses for Female Veterans, and this says 10th annual. This was an organization that I started back in. How do you get in my group? Go buy some books and email me, and I'll send you the engagement letter. So I started. I was the vice chairman of the Veterans Commission in the village of Park Forest from 2015 to 2025. And that year, 2015, I said, okay, there's a Veterans Housing Fair, Housing and Resource Fair that's going to take place at the Jesse Brown VA. So I said, I want to take at least 10 purses filled with toiletries and other things that a homeless female veteran would need and appreciate and would like, because I was a homeless female veteran and I know what needs to go in a purse. So I would take a purse with me every time I go to the VA. Whenever I have to come and speak to somebody, I would always have at least 1 or 2 purses. I wasn't rich at the time, nor well off, because I was just getting back into, it's a long story, but I was still find the money for that, or even tell my neighbors what I was doing, and they would contribute, get some stuff, and we'll make it real nice. So this year I put it on Facebook. I said, if any of my friends or family on Facebook want to help me get 10 purses, let me know and we can meet, or you can bring it to my house. The first phone call I got was a donation of 50 purses. I'm like, I'm not taking 50 purses to the Jesse Brown VA Resource Fair, because there will not be 50 women. It will not be 50 female veterans. It will not. It will not. That's just how it is. Don't ask me why. It's more men that come ask for help at the VA than the women. So I'm like, okay, I'm still going to take a few, but I'm not taking all of these. And the phone calls kept coming in, kept coming in, kept coming in. And then I got a letter in the mail appointing me to the vice chairman position of the Park Forest Veterans Commission. And I said, you know what? Our first meeting, I said, yeah, we need to kick this off real good and real fast. And we need to do this in 3 weeks, because that was the first time that we could have it. That was when the room was going to be available. I had those pictures. The room was packed. We had purses already packed up, ready to be handed out in nice bags. We had shoes and coats and jewelry and books that were brand new, donated from I forgot the name of the organization. It was so much stuff, and the women were so happy. We didn't have enough food. I didn't know that you're going to come and bring somebody, and you don't turn female veterans away, and we have enough to give. We just didn't have enough food for y'all, because you brought somebody with you who was really a veteran. But yeah. So the next year, so that was year 1, 2015. And then the last year, 10th annual, was the last winter, is when the 10th annual took place. And I said, okay, I'm going to dissolve the not-for-profit, because I put 100 Pretty Purses for female veterans in a not-for-profit status. So that was dissolved last year. And my new organization will be a foundation to support those who are creating veteran shared living models for women veterans of domestic violence who are pregnant with children or who have children. So if you open up one of those homes or one of those facilities, that's what the foundation would be able to support. Just like all of these organizations receive funding, foundations can also receive funding, and not just from grant sources, but from private equity firms and other foundations. And I mean, money, it just comes from everywhere. I had a not-for-profit. So that's going to be the next phase in supporting homeless female veterans of domestic violence, because I was a female veteran of domestic violence. And those are the nearest and the dearest to me. It just so happens that more men come for housing since I've been housing veterans. Oh, so I am going to bid my farewell. But if you have not sent me an email to tell me that you wanted to, I think that's the link. Yeah. So over here on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, I just put the link for the upcoming masterclass tomorrow. So you guys over there on TikTok, if you want the link, just send me your email in my DM, and I'll send you the link to the masterclass that's going to take place tomorrow. So thank y'all over here. I am going to play the end, and I'll stay over here on TikTok, because I always talk whenever I create a live, I stay on longer on TikTok. So thank y'all for being here. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing advocate, realtor, housing strategist, homeless housing strategist in the veterans community and in the GovCon space in professional services. So y'all will see a lot more about my company and how I teach you how to do what you say you want to do, and that's house homeless veterans. Because people say, "I'm going to house homeless veterans," you don't know what you what you say. How you gonna do that? Who's paying you? Huh? You want some of these billions? I've said, okay, bye. I was gonna keep on talking.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.